Why does blackjack basic strategy vary by number of decks? Imagine sitting at a blackjack table and wondering why the strategy changes when you switch from one deck to 8 decks. It might seem simple, but the number of decks used actually makes a big difference in how you should play. This is because the chances of drawing certain cards change depending on how many decks are in play. When fewer decks are used, the composition of the remaining cards shifts more noticeably after each hand. For example, if 2 cards of the same rank are removed from a single deck, the odds of drawing that same rank again change a lot more than if you are playing with 8 decks. This means you can make more precise guesses about what cards are left, which influences decisions like whether to split pairs or double down. In a single deck game, the removal of cards has a bigger impact on what's left in the shoe. If you see a pair of 8s, for example, the chance of drawing another 8 is higher than in an 8-deck game. That's why basic strategy recommends splitting pairs more often in single or double deck games. Conversely, in games with many decks, the card distribution becomes more stable, making the game behave more like an endless shoe. This stability means the decisions you make are based on probabilities that don't shift as much after each hand. Another key point is how the decision to stand or hit on a hard 16 against a dealer's 10 changes with deck size. In fewer decks, standing might be the better move because the likelihood of the dealer busting is higher. But with more decks, hitting could be smarter since the dealer's chances of making a strong hand increase. Doubling down also varies. For example, doubling on a soft 13 against a dealer's 5 is recommended in 2-deck or fewer games but not in larger shoe games. These small differences come from how the expected value of each move shifts with the number of decks. Overall, fewer decks tend to favor the player because the card counts are more predictable. This allows for more accurate decisions based on the remaining cards. As the number of decks increases, the game becomes more uniform, and the basic strategy converges to a more standard set of plays. That's why it's so important to use the correct strategy chart for the specific number of decks at your table. Using the wrong one can lead to making less optimal choices and losing more money over time. In short, the reason basic strategy changes with the number of decks is because the odds of drawing certain cards shift as the shoe size changes. This affects key decisions like splitting, doubling, hitting, and standing. Knowing which strategy to follow based on the deck count can give you a better shot at winning.